Hey guys, I hope everybody's having an amazing Sunday, an amazing Thanksgiving, an amazing day, guys. But as we pack up the last of the turkey, slice the last of the ham, it's time to look to 2022. Now, I know some of y'all still want to get your St. Nick out the way, but the more you spend on St. Nick, the more bills going to be rolling up in here come the first of the year. So now is the time for you to really be thoughtful and methodical about what your next year is going to look like. Good morning, Diane. I hope everybody's doing great. Make sure you speak in the comments and say hello. And I want you to really be thoughtful about the things that we talk about today because, that new year is coming whether you like it or not. And I know one thing that people always do is they're so super hype in January and I'm living my best life. This is my year. And they posting all the memes about, the last year's gone and this year I'm leveling up, I'm stepping up. And you hear all that noise. Good morning, Lamarla. And then by February, people start to set back into going to the job and, they working a little bit less on their business. And then by March, they worried about vacation and spring break. And then back to school comes and they worried about kids' clothes and this, that, and the other. And before you know it, girl, it's Thanksgiving again and you talking about the next year. So we want to help you break through all that. We want to help you have a comprehensive plan so that when the next year comes, you're ready to take the next year by storm. So this morning, we're going to be talking about 3 things that I didn't say some businesses, I didn't say old businesses, I didn't say new businesses, I didn't say ain't start your business yet. Every business owner needs to be thinking about for next year. So get your pens, get your paper, and let's get on this journey. I also want to call your attention to the fact that right now you can get our certification program that we're going to be relaunching as its own school next year. But right now, those certifications are only $99. We're doing 90% off. That's life, business, ministry, purpose, you name it. Go to www.thepinkwallstreet.com and you'll get a link to those certifications. So let me start at the beginning because I really feel like every business owner, and make sure you invite other business owners to watch this broadcast because it's the missing link. Every business owner needs funding. That whole, I'm going to just put the bare minimum into my business going forward. Every business needs a marketing plan. They need an advertising budget. They need a team. They need technology. Those things cost money. Nowadays, you got to pay to play. And that whole organic reach of social media, it's gone. It is whittled down to nothing. If it was still here, it would be 80 people in this broadcast right now because that's how many followers I have. But they limit tremendously. Thank you, Felicia. And thank you, Luana, for tagging people in this broadcast. They limit your reach tremendously. So you've got to be ready to pay to play. Kiara, what do you think about that?
Oh, I 100% agree, Coach. And good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being here with us today. But we see it across the board with so many of our clients getting less and less organic reach, you being restricted more often on based on things that you say on social media, based on the types of images or the types of things that you share on social media. And so, you know, you really need to have a plan that's going to ensure that you get your stuff in front of the right audience. And that does require a paid advertising strategy. It also requires I just want to emphasize, it requires a strategy. You can't just have the money and throw the money at it. And that's what we see a lot of people doing, making a big mistake when they're boosting posts or some other strategy that people have given them that doesn't really get them to the end result. It kind of gives you the look. So you may be getting a whole lot of views, you may be getting a whole lot of likes, but you're not necessarily converting those people into customers. So that's what we're talking about, you know, using these platforms to get in front of people who are your ideal customer, who actually want to buy from you.
And kind of what that boils down to is stop doing things that don't work. Because I think that a lot of our strategy is hope and wish, and that's not actual strategy. It's also not a strategy to look at what other people are doing and emulate that. They say that, you know, copying is the sincerest form of flattery, but it's also the closest path to broke. Because when you see somebody doing something, doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. They may have a totally different brand, totally different audience, totally different message, totally different products. So you've got to have a customized plan to get you in front of the right people, because that's all it's about. It's not about how good your product is. It's about how many people can you get in front of. So guys, if you look at the link below on www.thepinkwallstreet.com, we have an opportunity to learn not only how you can get up to $25,000 in funding, but also how you can help other business owners get that same funding and generate revenue. And girl, can't nobody see him but me. Just FYI, with this screenshot, girl, we can't see nothing but a small hand.
I was gonna say you can see his hands.
That's it. And if you like, when we used to go live with Dion, I used to think those were her hands. I was like, oh my God, she has such small hands. But, you know, this is one of those opportunities that you can't afford to miss out on. You can't afford to overthink, because everybody I know is connected to other business owners. So by helping other people get funding, you can get funding yourself. And you need that funding for things like technology. Kiara is hosting a digital brand explosion conference in Philadelphia. And that is somewhere that I advise every business owner be, so that you can learn what really are the trends in not just digital marketing, but building your business for 2022 across the board. You know, you don't know what you don't know. And we got to stop listening to, how can I say this politically correctly? People that don't necessarily look like us, or people that don't necessarily come from where we come from. Let me say that, because I do think the biggest class distinction is not race. The biggest class distinction is wealth. And so you're listening to people who are running $50,000 and $100,000 worth of ads a month. And what they're doing that works is not going to be what you do that works. So sometimes you got to align with somebody that can meet you where you are, and that the knowledge is really applicable to your business and to your budget. And if that makes sense, say me in the comments, because, or throw up some dollar signs. Good morning, Marissa. Because it's critical that we stop trying to do what people that are not following our same path are doing. It's just not going to work. Good morning, Crystal. And so grab your tickets at digitalbrandexplosion.com so you can start to learn some of those trends that we need to align with. You've got to have paid advertising. You've got to start building your brand. Even me, much as I love old Facebook, old Meta, my press next year is going to be to build beyond this space and be consistent in building beyond this space so that I can get in front of more people, so that I have more freedom, more marketing freedom. Kiara, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but we talked about that yesterday, how it's some things you can't say over here, it's some things you can't post, some things you can't do, and they really limit your marketing.
Absolutely. I want to go back a little bit though, because you were talking about, somebody being able to meet you where you are in terms of what you can afford to do with ads. And I think that that's so important for us to understand, because a lot of times you guys listen to people who are selling you like all of these amazing promises, all of these amazing results. But what they don't talk to you about is the investment that's required to be able to get that result. And if you don't have that financial, because, and we're talking about this with capital and having access to capital, Coach. If you don't have those startup funds, what is the option? So much of what I experienced in terms of growing my business was me bootstrapping my business and really figuring out the best path forward to the results that I was looking for. And so I think that that's super, super important that you guys understand that if you're taking on a really big project, it's like, if you want to build a big house from the ground up, it's going to cost you millions of dollars, or at least hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that, versus purchasing a house that's already here, may have some things that you got to do yourself. You may have to go break the wall down yourself, right? But at least I can get in there. I have my own home. This is mine. I can call this my own. Even if I don't love this blue carpet, I'm going to change that later. And so I hope that you guys really understand that. But then you are asking me about just where we're looking at in the future, because I do see so many changes on the horizon, and we've gone through them all year, because Facebook really started rolling them out at the beginning of this year, around February and March of 2021. We saw a lot of changes happen to what was permitted to be advertised, how you were permitted to track people's information. And we see more and more restriction around what you're able to say. Some of the phrases I'm not going to use here because we are live on Facebook, but if you watch YouTube and you see YouTube ads versus some of the ads that you see on Facebook, or if you have experience with ads on Facebook, there are some things that you would not be able to say or do and get your ad approved, right? If you've ever tried to even run an ad that had more than 20% tax on a picture, you got your ad declined. And so it's just really important that you expand and be able to reach people. It's not to say that you don't still need a Facebook and Instagram ad strategy, because you do, but it needs to be complementary to another strategy that's also going to grow your influence, grow your brand, and grow your business at the end of the day. You're still on mute, Coach. I can't hear you.
So Crystal asked, how do we get around those things? I'm going to go back to where I started. There's three things that you're going to have in order to grow your brand. You're going to have funding, because it's going to cost. You're going to have knowledge, because it's going to cost. And you're going to have technology, because it's going to cost. You got to know what to say, when, to who, and what not to say. And until you get them offline. Now, once you get them in Zoom or wherever you're driving them to, once you get them on your list, you have more freedom. Once you get them on your website, you definitely have more freedom. But out here in this metaverse, this social media verse, there are going to be some things, and I wouldn't be surprised if soon Google and YouTube start limiting speech or what you can say. So you have to find a work around it. And that is, you got to be obsessive about building your list. You got to be obsessive about getting the knowledge you need. And that's one of the reasons that I'm super excited that, we have this opportunity for business owners to get up to $25,000 in funding and make money by helping other business owners. And that's with a credit score as low as 450, which is amazing. It's going to be all about who you know and what they know in 2022. You're going to have to, there was so much money being left on the table because people don't know about grants. People don't understand funding. People don't know where to go and get $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to get started. And, you know, that's the cost of being in the right community. So again, if you want to know more, because we're going to have some informational sessions this week, make sure you go to www.thepinkwallstreet.com. But understand this, you're not going to be able to grow in 2022 on a bootstrap. You could have the best product in the world and you are going to get left behind. And I don't want people, amazingly smart people with great products and a ton of integrity, to get left behind the shysters and the charlatans and the snake oil purveyors. I don't. If you ever look around and say, well, how did this person get to the top and their product is not even that good? It's because they bought their way to the top. They were willing to do whatever it took, if that means they had to borrow money. And I want to talk to you. Let's just be real. You know, I talk to people all the time that say, well, you know, I don't want to borrow money for my business. But yet you go put a pizza or a pair of socks or a pair of shoes on a credit card with crazy interest rates. And so now you're carrying a couch on a credit card when you could have taken that same money out, probably in a lower interest rate business loan, doubled that money, paid that money off, and went and done it again. We've just got to understand money.
Can I just say, you know, I feel like for me, coming from a family that did not give us that financial education, it was a major disadvantage of understanding how money works. And so often in our communities, we are taught to finance things that are not assets as opposed to financing businesses and things that appreciate, investments even, and things that appreciate and give us the results that we're looking for. I just wanted to say that because that definitely is something that impacted me as a young adult and even to this day.
You know, there's a big difference between borrowing money for your business or borrowing money for real estate or borrowing money for coaching versus buying furniture on credit. Even buying a refrigerator on credit, washing machines on credit. You know, we've just got to understand this whole money game. If you think these big businesses like Amazon and McDonald's are not out there borrowing money, then you're wrong. They're borrowing money. They're taking that money to double their money, and then they're paying that money back. And some of us sit here, remiss the coaching we need to be millionaires and won't invest $50,000, whether you have it or not, into what it takes to really get to 7 figures. And so there you sit, because you won't make the stretch that it takes to get the knowledge or the funding or the technology. And so you're in this loop for years that you can't break out of. So if you're ready to break out of that loop, definitely send me a message. Let's have a conversation about what it's going to take. Get started now. While everybody else is Christmas shopping and while everybody else is worrying about how to get home for the holidays, you need to be out there planning a 2022 takeover. And I can tell you, it takes far more than strategy to take over. Sometimes you need somebody to keep a foot in your back. Sometimes you need somebody to keep you on pace. Sometimes you need somebody to affirm you and tell you you got this and that you can do it. Here's the thing. If you could have done it by yourself, you would have done it already. So at what point are you going to say, you know what, damn, maybe I can't do it by myself? Even the word says, forsake thee not the fellowship. That there's safety in a multitude of counsel. I hire experts every day, every month, every year. I spend a lot of money on people like Kiara who know what they're doing so that I don't have to learn it myself. If I got to spend, you got to spend. And you got a choice. You can either go hire 50 coaches. One's going to teach you branding, but not take you to the bank. One's going to teach you marketing and you still not going to get no money. One's going to teach you the digital world and you still not going to have no dollars. Or you hire me and we work on profit. We work on connecting you with the right people that's going to get you the right things, that's going to take you to the right place. And every year that you don't sign up with me, that price, I talked to a client this morning. She ended up saying yes to her contract. The first time I talked to her was back in 2016. I quoted her $10,000. She said, not right now. I talked to her again in 2017. I quoted her $15,000. She said, not right now. I talked to her again in 2020. I quoted her $25,000. She said, not right now. She said yesterday. She said yesterday to $50,000. Because she said, if I say no again, it'll be $100,000. And you keep coming back and you keep coming up. And once a year, you're in my feed and you're in my timeline. You're in my thoughts. You're in my dreams. And I know that you're the ticket to my next level. And until I buy this ticket, I won't get there. So if I'm not willing to spend $50,000 on $1 million ticket, she said, I'll find the money. I said, I'll help you. I'm not one of those coaches that just assumes you're going to come up with it. I'm always giving my clients ideas. Go here to make money. Go here to make money. Go here to make money. Do this to make money. But you rather spend your money on nonsense. Michael said his daughter said she was at the outlet mall, 300 people in line at Gucci, spending money on nonsense. Sometimes you got to choose nonsense or your next level.
Coach, I just want to say that because I feel like there are so many people out there, like you said, who have programs and they don't tell you how to go get the money to go get it. They tell you, my program is 10,000, 15, 25, however much, my mentorship, my mastermind, and they're not going to give you any type of support, coaching, real conversation, real connection throughout that program. And I think that's the thing that just sets you so much apart from everybody else, because every single time you find a new way to get to the money, you definitely inform and pass that information along to your community. And I think anybody that's watching this video can say, even over the past year and a half, there has not been a grant that you discovered that you kept to yourself. It's a lot of people, they find grants, they don't tell you because they don't want you to apply and get the money. Instead of them, they wasn't gonna get it no way, but they won't even tell you. So you continue to share that information. There's so much value in that. I think back and we had these conversations a lot about how much it costs you in mistakes. When you don't know, that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like you go to a safari and you pay for a tour guide because you could go on the African safari adventure by yourself. Okay, but you also could get eaten by a lion or some other, animal while you're out there. So you pay, the giraffes will probably eat you too. You don't even know. Like, it's just so many wild animals. You pay for that tour guide so that they can show you not only where to actually go to find the animals, where they are, but they protect you along the way. They prevent you from making deadly mistakes along the way. And so, we pay for what we value. And I just think that it's so important in this season to set aside some money to make sure that you are investing in yourself. If you know that you wanted to start your own coaching business or your own, be a life coach, be a business coach, and you haven't taken the effort all year now to be able to go get those certifications for $99, coach, that's just ridiculous. And it's about 12 or 15 of them on there. I know because I built the page.
But Kiara's absolutely right. Many of you are sitting on bags of money. You're sitting on opportunity. You have the personalities. You have the information. but you just don't know how to get it in front of the masses. And you know, if I don't know anything else, I know how to create a buzz with your marketing. I know how to make money. I know how to help you get your product in front of the masses. So let's just talk about cumulative, okay? Because Kiara brought that up. And if you don't know that big word, cumulative, that means compounded over time. So you may say, well, coach, you know, whether it's 15, 25, $50,000 package you're looking at, that's a lot of money. But how much have you lost by not being activated? And how much have you spent on the wrong things? If you add up your nickels and dimes and you clock your time, what you're going to see is that the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you have lost by not having the right counsel is pennies compared to what I charge. And if you're struggling and stressed and in that whole loop of doing the same things over and over, that's insanity, because they say that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So when you're ready to move your feet, just understand it's not a struggle. And Kiara, I want you to talk about when you first signed up for me as a coach, because what you have to understand is that we're all operating inside of a faith model. You said, well, coach, what is a faith model? Sometimes you have to activate for God to show you exactly where the money is for you to do what you need to do. You have to have faith. So I have clients that have signed up for me and no, they couldn't initially on paper afford me. But guess what? They figured it out. And they're in a better place because they took a chance on themselves. You take chances on Jordans and furniture and dinner out and vacations. And I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy life, but some of you, hell, you could get a little piece of coaching with what you spend in Starbucks. You could get a little piece of coaching or what you spend at the nail shop and at the hair salon. It's time for you to redirect your efforts and be willing to stand in the gap and do whatever it takes for a short period of time versus not sacrificing and being in that same damn ship forever. I mean, you think about it and say, look, for the next year, forget cable, forget my hair, forget my nails. But I remember, I ain't gonna tell your business, Kiara, but sometimes you gotta do your own nails, okay?
I ain't ashamed. I ain't ashamed.
Girl, tell me about your kids.
I know what you're talking about. The kids, the nail kits. When I was doing my nails when the pandemic first started, I was doing a good job. I do everything. Well, no, I'm joking. But I do want to say, I was sitting here doing some calculations, coach, because that first class that I signed up with you was a $400 class. It was a $400 live stream class. I think this was when you were still calling it Scope School. I don't know who in the chat could go all the way back to 2015 in the time machine when Periscope came out. But I just was so drawn, and I just want to tell you guys this story because it really is a testament to how your life can change. You know, information changes situations. Last night in the class, you were talking about how you don't know what you don't know. A lot of times we are asking for something, but we don't even know what we're asking for. We don't even understand what it is that we're really asking God to do in our lives. And so it is, I said this morning to you, you know, I feel like this is a God idea. It's a book called God Winks, where he has flashes, and it was like I had a moment to make this decision to go in this direction, but going in this direction changed my life for the rest of my life. And that's really what happened to me. So I don't even know, somebody shared you. I know people say that all the time. I don't even know how I found you. Somebody shared you on my timeline. That's what happened. And I started watching this lady, and every day I would show up and I would be watching. And then what I do know how to do very well, even at that time, was network. I know how to work even a virtual room. And so I started networking and talking. And you had a class called Scope School. And so I was trying to build my Periscope audience at the time, and I had a couple of my little girlfriends, one of them in particular, watching you along with me. And I said to her, "Hey, she's doing a class on teaching you how to use Periscope, and I'ma sign up. It's only $39 a week." And my friend said, "You gonna sign up with that lady? You don't need her to teach you how to do that. You already know how to go on live stream. You don't need her help with that." And I said, "Man, you right, but I'm gonna sign up with that lady." Now I want y'all to understand, I was a single mom at the time, working a little day job, but I didn't have a whole lot of extra money. At no point in time did I feel like I had $400, $39 a week laying on the table. Like, yeah, you could just put that to a Periscope class. So I want you guys to know, like, nothing was logical about this. Okay, nothing was like, yeah, this is gonna be okay. But something in me just said yes. And man, the first week by the bonuses, I remember being like, "Yo, this is like everything that I ever. This the juice." Like, I saw it. It was like, if you walk into, you ever see those movies with like Indiana Jones or something like that, and in the end they walk in the room with all the gold, and they like, "Oh, we found the treasure." That's how I felt, y'all. Like, I listened to her that first bonus workshop. It was a pre-recorded audio. I think you probably did that years before on like freeconferencecall.com or something like that. And I'm sure nobody else probably even listened to it because it was not highly promoted or influenced, the way we was doing with the bonuses. That wasn't the hyped up part about the class, y'all. Y'all gotta understand. But I got in and I said, man, for my little $39, I'm finna listen to and read every goddamn thing she give me. I'm finna learn me some stuff, okay? What is this? What am I paying for? So I listened to this training at the time about how to plan out your annual marketing calendar. And it just, wow. Now I see what I didn't know about running a business. Now I understand. Now that wasn't the only piece of information that I needed to get from Coach. And over the years, she has helped me at every single level be able to turn a corner, be able to go to the next level. When I was selling, recently we just had a conversation about this. When I was selling $500 websites, I wouldn't dare sell a website for $500 now. I wouldn't dare. But even at that point, to now being able to say it's a $5,000 website or it's a $25,000 contract to work with us, and to be able to say that confidently. And some of y'all might say, that's easy. You just quote them a price, but that's not easy. That ain't easy to tell somebody it's going to cost you 25 G's to work with me and walk away knowing that if they don't pay, because we like to negotiate a lot. What you got? Tell me what you got. You don't got 25, you got 25 cents. I might can do it for you. So in that moment, I had an opportunity. I always think about what would have happened to me. What would my life be like if I would have not signed up for that class? What would I have done? Would I have started my business? Would I be in this position? Would I still be struggling? Would I still be broke? Would I still not know that I could literally make money in the blink of an eye? I don't have to go to a job to make money. If I want to make more money, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna think about how to make more money with my kids running through the house, with doing whatever I want to do. I don't have to go out and allow somebody else to tell me what I'm worth. I tell people what my time is worth. I set the tone for how this goes. And so I think coaching does so much more for you than just give you a strategy. It helps you to really unlock your potential, to see who you really are. A lot of our clients don't understand that they are already amazing. They are already experts. You already have everything that you need to be able to be brilliant online and to make $100,000 a month online. But you gotta believe that. You gotta believe that. And that's the hard part. You got to believe you worth 50 G's.
And that's one thing I told one of my new clients this morning is it's so much less strategy than people think. You know, if it was as simple as creating a product and putting a price on it, and Michael said, I got to thank Periscope. That's where I first heard Coach first thing in the morning driving into DC to work. And Michael said, you know, I share money knowledge to people like Coach's site. These people don't share no money streams with me. You know, and it's so many people that say they can help you make money. But I believe in two things. One thing, I believe in divine connections. I believe that you're put here with certain people who are set apart to help you. And I think sometimes that the presence of those people or the appearance of those people throw you off because they're not who you expected. You expected somebody maybe that looked like you, or maybe you expected somebody of a different gender or different race or a different size, different look. But that's the tricky part about God. That's one of those God wings, you know. He's saying, I'm going to send it to you. And if you really want it, can you identify it? If you really want it, I'm going to keep putting it back in your face. I'm going to keep sending it over. Donna said she's talking about me. I just signed on, girl. I don't be telling y'all business. But, you know, it's that I'm going to go and I'm going to figure it out along the way. You know, so, you know, if that's you, then you don't have to struggle. Let's figure it out. Send me a message. Let's connect. Because those three things, that funding you need, that knowledge you need, that technology you need, all of those things are right around you. You just got to be willing and understand where to go to pick them up. And it's not always where you see, like Kiara said, you know, she walked in, it was like the treasure chest in Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom. Some of y'all are still in the dark and you're grasping at these things that are really not for you. When there's so many other things that exist that could be yours. And it's as simple as, you know, once you get on the other side and you really start to see money, you'll understand that money is really a simple thing. Money is simply, how are you treating your money? There's a book by Dan Kennedy called Almost Alchemy. And in that book, he talks about money goes where it's respected and appreciated. If you say, I hate money, money get on my nerves, money not going to come around you because money, I already know you don't like me. But if you wake up every day and you say, hey, money, what you doing? Foolish, we going to hang out today? Because you know I love you. You know I love you, money. You know you be a blessing, a girl over here. Money is going to come to you. You keep treating like money like a stranger, it's going to be strange. Just like you know your boo's favorite color, you need to know money's favorite color. And until you get to that point and you got somebody that can take you there mentally, because again, you run around looking for a blueprint, but if I gave it to you, you couldn't execute it. Because until your head matches your heart, you're not going to be able to charge people what you really worth. Until you understand the alchemy of money, you're not going to be able to charge people what you really worth. I hear people saying, I don't want to make my prices that high. People can't afford it, but yet they out at the Gucci store, but yet they out at the Louis Vuitton store, but yet they out at the Fendi store. They at the car dealership. Cars are at an all-time high, and I see more paper tags. People buy what they want. I want you to put that in the chat for me. The next time you think somebody can't afford your product or service, I want you to, people buy. People find the money. So if they're telling you that they can afford, it's because they're not ready yet. Because when they're ready, They will find the money. Oh, Donna wanted to know, are you recording the seminar for the people if they miss any parts?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you, I think I saw your order come through, Donna. The virtual tickets definitely will get access to the videos and all of the recordings for the event.
People buy what they want. So if somebody's not buying your product, it's either because you're not marketing it to them in a way that makes them want it, in a way that makes them understand that they need it to live their life, or they just not ready for it yet. And it's okay. That whole fear of rejection. Oh my God. We had a grant writing session last night. And we applied for, oh my God, so many thousands of dollars in grants. Cumulative millions of dollars in grants. And so I asked them, what would keep people from applying for free money? And somebody said rejection. Somebody said, I don't want to apply just in case they tell me no. But if you don't apply, the answer is already. Hold on, let me ask y'all a hard question. Y'all ready? If you're ready, say ready in the chat. I just need you to be ready. If you're ready, say ready in the chat. Gonna ask you a hard question. And if you ain't sent me a message yet, and you've been hanging out around me for years and years, and you still ain't got where you're going, you're tripping. You don't have to struggle. Send me a message. Let's talk about it. If I introduced you to a community, Donna says she's ready. Original Walker says she's ready. Who else is ready? I need to know. Glenda said I'm ready. If I showed you a neighborhood and I said somewhere in this neighborhood, there's $1 million for you. I'm not going to tell you if it's in one house or two, in 3 houses or 4. I'm just going to tell you, in this neighborhood of 5,000 houses, there's $1 million for you. What would you be willing to do to get that $1 million? Now, keep in mind, you can knock on the doors. They might not be home. Sometimes they may not answer the door. Sometimes they may think you know. So it's different things that will cause them not to be able to answer the door for you. How many times, though, would you be willing to go back and knock? So they didn't answer the door at 6 p.m. I'm going to go back at 7 a.m. They didn't answer the door at 7 a.m. I'm going to go back at noon. How many days would you be willing to show up? How many times would you be willing to knock on the door? That's money. That's money. Because the way some of you operate your business, you're just going in that neighborhood and knocking one time and coming out. Whereas for me, I would be camped out in my car, probably buy me a little piece of Winnebago so I can stay clean, but I'm going to stay close to the scene. I'm going to have my clothes lined up. And every morning at old dog 30, I'm going to go out. I'm going to come back. I'm going to eat me a lunch. I'm going to take a nap. Then I'm going to go back out. I'm going to knock on doors. Somebody say knock, knock in the chat. I'm going to knock on doors until I find what God has for me. I'm going to knock on doors till my knuckles are bleeding. I'm going to knock on doors until the people start calling the police on me. I'm going to knock on doors. I'm going to camp out in front of your house because you've already told me that my destiny, my prosperity is inside this neighborhood. And I'm not going to stop knocking on doors until my feet hurt. I'm not going to stop knocking on doors. And then somebody say knock, knock. I'm going to have my kids knocking. They're going to be knocking in shifts. Hope this your shift. I'm going to pull you up to the house and you're going to go over there and you're going to knock. And if I'll come out if they come to the door. Boy, I love my mama so much. We grew up in a small town. And you either worked in a store or you worked in a factory. And my mom couldn't find a job either. So Granny decided she was going to sell these vacuum cleaners, girl. I don't know if y'all remember vacuum cleaner salesmen. You remember that, Karen?
You never heard me tell a story about the vacuum cleaner salesman that used to come to my mama's house? Let me hear. Let me hear what Grady. Let me hear.
So, and I don't want to get upset. So mom says, you know what? I'm gonna start selling these vacuum cleaners. And so me and her would ride around and we would take turns knocking on the door. And some days it might take us 30 minutes to get out of their car. Because we would be scared to go to the door. You know, people are rude, people are nasty, people get mean with you. But Granny said, in order to eat, we got to knock on these doors. And that's what taught me to not be afraid to ask, because I'd rather starve asking than starve with my mouth closed. And believe it or not, because she had me out there knocking on the doors with her, people would buy them vacuum cleaners just when we thought we wasn't going to make it. Somebody would buy a vacuum cleaner just when we thought we're going to run out of money. I remember we would go out and she would be like, daughter, this is the last day. We only have enough gas for today. And sure enough, every time when we got right to the point that we were going to give up, something would happen. If you're not marketing like that, if you're not running your business like that, then you're not in it for real. And that's the truth. So because I ain't gotta leave my house, because I ain't gotta knock on their door, because I don't have to beg nobody to take my stuff, you show up enough, somebody's gonna buy. This is as easy as it gets, y'all. And you scared of this shit too? I've seen Scary. Scary is knocking on strangers' doors in the South, being black as midnight. This ain't nothing. You don't want to watch my video? Swipe. But you're scared to get on video. You're scared to get on Clubhouse. You're scared to post a video. You're scared to do this. You're scared to do that. If all me and my mama had to do was get on a video and talk and eat, I don't know, Kiara. I don't know, Bud.
You know, Coach, I feel the same way sometimes when people, when I first had Josiah, you know, Facebook will pop those videos up in your message, your memories. And I'll be looking back like, man, I was showing up. It didn't matter. And people will say like, oh, and that's the other thing I want to say. You know, sometimes you don't understand that you're going through something so that you can empower somebody, inspire somebody to not give up in the future. So many times I would feel bad. I'm sure you did the same thing, Coach. Feel bad. But now all that power, all that passion, everybody in the comments, because you had that experience to know that God is never going to leave you or forsake you. And that be the thing that we need from coaching. You talked about it earlier. You just be needing somebody to tell you could do it, because you can have the strategy and still not execute if you don't believe in yourself. If you don't believe that it's possible. So I'm just inspired, Coach, to keep knocking for my stuff. You know, come back as often as possible. Do as much as we can, because the reality is a lot of us not doing everything that we could be doing to get the success we say we want. How many of us can be honest and say that? That's the thing. If you can't afford something, you're saying you can't afford something and you're not doing everything that you could to keep getting to that money, you gotta try harder. You gotta do better. Yeah, keep knocking. You on mute.
And that's just as real as it gets, guys. And in Original Walker, the worst conversation you can have is with yourself. You can't outwit you because you know all your triggers. You can't out-talk you because you know what you about to say next. You can't even, to be honest, you can't outwit you. The worst conversation you can have is with the person that knows all of your soft spots, knows all of your triggers, and knows exactly what scares the hell out of you, and that's you. Any conversation you're going to have with yourself, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because you're going to tell you that you're not worthy. You're going to tell you that you're not enough. You're going to tell you that people are not going to pay you that. You're going to tell you that nobody will buy your stuff. You're going to tell you you're not ready. You're not smart enough, thin enough, cute enough. These are all the things you are going to tell you. And that's why the coaching relationship with somebody that sees your money even before you see it, with somebody that sees your success even when you can't see it, when somebody that sees the promise that God puts inside of you even before you do, it's invaluable. The world has lied to you and told you that strategy is enough. A funnel is enough. A lead magnet is enough. Or just write a book, that's enough. And all of those things, they're not enough. They're not enough to keep you knocking.
Somebody asked me yesterday, Coach, what's the most important thing? I said, everything. Everything is the most important. All of those things. You have to have everything. Every single part of your business needs your attention, or it's like your car. You can't say what's more important on my car, the tires or the engine. Don't tell me which one is most important for me to fix today, the door or the brakes. All of it all has to be fixed.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're not finna have me rolling down the street with no brakes. The car started, but we ain't got now brake on this thing. So I'm pumping and pumping, and that's your business. But I tell you what, I can tell you this: if funding is your gas, you ain't going no damn well without funding. Even if your car's in tip-top shape. Mm-hmm. And also that whole fear dynamic. You know, it's a process in overcoming that. So even if you could launch tomorrow, would you be willing to do whatever it takes? And so there's this process that you get through till you get to the point that you're willing to do whatever it takes. The money is there. I cannot impress upon you enough. 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, $1 million. My goal is definitely 8 figures next year. The money is there. I have no doubt. But will I have the emotional stamina, the physical stamina, and more importantly, the spiritual, that self-stamina to keep going even when it looks dark, to keep going even when it looks bleak, to not listen to the economists that say we're heading for an economic downturn, because when I ride by the malls, they full. See, sometimes you got to stop watching television, because see, when I ride by the malls, they full. And when I talk to my girlfriends on the phone, they always out shopping and always eating and always drinking. So the money is there. The question is, are you willing to align with the right people to help you get what's always been yours? And again, you don't have to struggle. I'm going to see how many of y'all send me a message, because the funny thing is, before you even know who you're supposed to work with, I know. And you'll come back and you'll dip and you'll come here and you'll come there. But I'm watching you all the while. And I'm saying to myself, child, when you going to come get this bag? When are you going to come get this cash? When are you going to get this money? When are you going to stop going to a job? When are you going to stop struggling? When are you ready to do whatever it takes to move the needle on you? We're not getting younger. We're definitely not getting younger. And these internet streets are getting busier. And it's going to make it harder and harder for you to get found, i.e., going to cost you more and more for you to sit in the front. So now is the time to start. Hey, Raystar Artistry, now is the time to get going. Don't keep waiting on the rest of the world to find the internet, or think that just because you're scared everybody else is, because they're not. If you don't have a retirement plan, you need to send me a message. Come up with one. If you don't have a plan to grow your business by leaps and bounds, send me a message. If you're tired, come on, Monica, we need to get it popping before your 5-0. If you're tired of walking in circles, send me a message. Be ready and willing to do whatever it takes, but don't just sit there because you're afraid. I just turned 50, and I tell you, by the time I'm 55, I got to be somewhere sitting down. I'm not going to stay on this merry-go-round. And by sitting down, I don't necessarily mean retired. By sitting down, I mean working with who I want to, when I want to, about what I want to. If I wake up this morning and I say, hey, I want to create a kite flying company, I might do that. If I wake up and say, I want to create a trampoline company, I might do that. I might wake up and say, I'm going to create a dating company. I might do that. I don't want to be bound to anything and to anybody for the next 50 years of my life, because I'm claiming another 50 with all my faculties. I don't want to be 99 peeing on myself. I said, Lord Jesus, I want to be 100 with no diaper and no dementia, okay? I want to be 100 years old and not cussing folks out for knocking on my door. I want to be 100 with a full life. I said, I'm living to 104. So you don't have to struggle. You just don't. It's so many ways, but you got to have the knowledge. You got to have the funding. You got to have the technology. Guys, if you're connected to at least 10 business owners, you need to come to our informational session and learn how to get up to $25,000 in funding for your business, or show them how to get $25,000 or more in funding for their business, or let them reach out to their audience and you make money on both. Y'all, and Kiara said it earlier, every time I come up on a lick to make money, I introduce you. But you got to say, yes, I'm going to go. The money is there. www.thepinkwallstreet.com. This is not just for women, it's for men. If you got business owners around you that have been struggling to get funding, then you need to introduce them. You'll be a hero. I don't know. So guys, Adana, I know you said you grabbed your ticket already to the Digital Explosion. So thank you. Live and virtual tickets available. That's the three things, guys. It's knowledge, it's funding, and it's technology. It's time. Who's ready? Who's ready to get ready for 2022? Raystar said, time to level up. We need promising and kingdom tools. Absolutely. Michael said that dude that made that Zeus dating app sold it for $300 million. The lady that made that Bumble dating app got $1 billion valuation. You know, y'all, it just makes me grab my head. I guess the Lord knew not to give me hair because I'll be over here pulling it out. People spend money on the doggonest thing. These people don't even know how they're going to retire and out there spending money on dating apps. And I'm like, dude, really? Come on now. You can do better. You really just can do better. Spending their time on foolishness and really, really want to generate revenue, but don't know how to let go of the foolishness long enough. That's coaching. That's discipline. So I just I'm blown away.
Well, I'm super, super excited. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Coach, for allowing me to be here today. And Donna, I'm excited for you and all of the other people who were going to be at the Digital Brand Explosion. But make sure y'all take advantage of this information so that you can be able to grow your business. Oh, I was getting, thank you for putting the link up. I was getting ready to tell them about the Pink Wall Street informational sessions. But if you want to use that code Friendsgiving, you still can buy one, bring a friend for free at the Digital Brand Explosion. We have virtual and in-person tickets available for you guys. 2 full days, an amazing event. We have an award ceremony that is co-sponsored by the NAACP. So I'm just super, super, super excited to be at this event. Super excited to be able to share this information with you guys and get y'all ready for 2022. Coach, you on mute. You on mute. We can't hear you.
Thank you, bud. And that's what it's about, guys. It's about making the most of what you have, getting started where you are. You don't have to struggle. Send me a message. Don't wait. Don't wait until it gets cheaper. Let me say that. Because it's not. Every year, I learn my value more and more. And it's not me being arrogant. It's me understanding my value. And you got to understand your value too. So we'll be back a little bit later today, guys. It's Sisterhood Sunday. So be on the lookout for us around 3 p.m. We're going to come back and let you promote what you have going on in your business. So tell everybody goodbye, JoJo.
I'll say bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
So try send me a message. You said I have to get it together. You said I have to get it together. I can't keep talking about it. I'm just gonna step out on faith. That's what it is. That's that, but it's more to it than that. If we say we're gonna live in faith, then why don't we operate like that? You know, we say I'm faithful, but he's waiting on you to show him the faith. You know, and again, it's that action, it's the execution, it's the doing something that makes the difference. So definitely, if you're one of those people that you've been trying to figure it out, quit talking to yourself about it. Give me a message, send me a message. Let's talk about it. Talk is free, but conversation rules the nation. All right. Love you guys. Have a great morning.